Hey guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm doing another spooky deck collection video just for funsies as we enter into Halloween, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos, and of course all the other ancestral holidays that many cultures celebrate around this time. But these videos are just more for fun. So I did a vampire deck collection, I did my Halloween based deck collection, and this one is my more witchy decks, either the stereotypical witch, or it had witch in the name, or I just feel kind of like more of my green witchiness, which I am. So this is more just meant to be lighthearted and fun. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. So if you guys ever want to join in on this, like, go ahead. I would love to see like your witchy decks or your vampire decks or your, Halloween themed decks. Okay, so there's no particular order to this. It's just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of throw all these decks together, and I was like, I have way more witchy decks than I thought I did. Okay, so first one here is El Tarot de los Magos, which is the kind of like wizard's tarot or magician's tarot. So let's open her up here. Very cool backs. I love the images. And remember, like when we're talking about witches, of course there's like the stereotypical witch with like the conical hat and, has a black cat and rides a broom. And that's kind of based off of just kind of particular cultural fairy tales and folk tales and things like that. Witches come in all forms from all cultures, and some don't even call themselves witches, but basically they kind of like work with energy, either the energy of plants or crystals or the other realms, or whatever it may be. I would say that there's witches on kind of all over in my family. My grandfather is from the Philippines, and he was saying that they were like witch doctors, and they would call themselves like abolarios, but translated he might say like they were witch doctors, and they did like types of healing, but they didn't dress in pointy hats and stuff like that. So just witches come in all forms and all genders. Okay, so here I have the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sturrow, and this one is a lot of fun. Let me just get this one open here. This one gets stuck. There we go. A lot of fun images in this deck. I love this one for the Ten of Swords. Everything's fine. It's fine. But here we have some different types of witches. Again, sometimes you wouldn't even know by looking at somebody that they were a witch, and that's because witches don't look like anything in particular. It's just, what you identify and how you work with things. Not every witch works the same or works with the same things. Not all witches work with herbs, That would be me though. But anyway, this is a fun deck, another little witchy deck. So if you are interested in any of the decks that I'm kind of going through here, I have done so many deck reviews. Check out my deck review playlist. I'm sure you'll come across one of these. Anyway, this is the Witch's Kitchen Oracle cards. So you're not going to really see people in here. This is just a bunch of herbally goodness. Another favorite deck to work with. Nice shiny edging there. But some of the background basically is the same, as you can see. It's just what's kind of going on in the foreground. It changes, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I actually really love the guidebook in this one, because I am kind of a green witch, kitchen witch kind of thing. So I like the recipes that are in there, and I like to tweak them because I don't like to just follow what somebody else does. I like to do my own thing and use my intuition, because that's how I roll. But anyway, this is a fun deck, the Witch's Kitchen Oracle cards. And this one was illustrated by Richard Crooks, and it's by Barbara Meiklejohn Free and Flavia Kate Peters. So case you was wondering. But they created another deck as well, and this is the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. This one has more of the kind of Wiccan aspects, which is an actual religion, and we could say that every Wiccan is a witch, but not every witch is Wiccan. Again, beautiful silver edges. This has some awesome images in it. I love it. I love the purple in here, connecting it to that crown chakra. Good stuff. Definitely. Okay. So, like I said, there are more decks, witchy decks, that I have than I thought I did. I was like, oh, maybe I'll have a handful, but hey, you know, when you're a witch, I guess you collect more witchy decks. Anyway, this is the Raven's Wand Oracle by Stephen Hutton, and this is actually based off of a book series, and what's in here is from kind of, I believe, what was it called? It's something Chronicles, and it says it in the guidebook, but I haven't read the books. I do have them on my wish list, but I do love the images in here, and even though I don't have the background to everything that's going on in there because I haven't read the Chronicle or the series, I still get a lot of great intuitive hits from here. Like, I think it reads really well. So either you read the Chronicles and it has even more meaning for you, or you haven't and it just is like a field day for the intuition. But definitely good stuff. This one always gets me in the feels. I've used this a lot for client readings too. There you go. Okay, so Raven's Wand Oracle. It's a goodie. Had it for a while. All right, moving on, we have the Gospel of Aradia. This is by Stacy DeMarco, and I think, is it Manton that does the art? Let me see real quick. I think it's Jimmy Manton, but I want to double check. Yep, Jimmy Manton did the artwork. Oh wow, oh, bless you. So anyway, here's the back. And Aradia is supposed to be of Italian background, and there is conflicting evidence as to whether she was a real person or just a part of their fairy tales and folk tales. You know, that she was this great and powerful witch. Some say she was free, or she was real, you know, free and real. Others say, nope, she was conjured up in imagination. I feel like she was a real person. But really good messages from this as well. I've had this for a really long time. The Gospel of Aradia. Okay, over here, this one is a newer deck. I should say decks actually, because it's a double decker. It is a double decker. There's the As Above deck and the So Below deck. The As Above deck is more like following more Wiccan tradition, pagan tradition, and the other one is more of like what's going on in 3D in our world. So anyway, so this is the As Above. So kind of like the more spiritual type stuff. I haven't done a review on this yet. I do plan on it though, because I really like it. I love the artwork and everything. Let's see if it says here, because let me look in the guidebook real quick, so I give you guys a who did what here. There we go. So this is the artwork is by Grzegorz Krasinski, Simone Gabrielli, Franco Vevoli, Petros Scoladimambro, Sabrina Araggianello, Alessio Pastorello. And this is a Barbara Moore deck, of course. I love Barbara Moore stuff. But anyway, so this is the as above, and then the second portion is the so below. I'll just pull out some of the cards here. But basically, this is like what goes on in 3D. So how you can apply the spiritual aspect to the 3D aspect. I think it's super cool. I love all the little gnomes and stuff for the Pentacles cards. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this is a fun deck, or decks, I should say. Hey, so we have a few more decks here. This is the Wizard's Tarot, but it had a huge box. It's also by Barbara Moore, I believe. But I didn't want to keep that huge box, so I just put it in this little cool little pouch that my brother gave me. But anyway, here's the backings of it. Let me just see if you guys can see. There we go. Love all the images. I love that it's so fantastical. Fun witchy goodness going on in here. I love this one, like total Matrix. So yeah, this is a fun deck, the Wizard's Tarot. So technically I have two Wizard's Tarot, but they are totally different decks, and one I got for cheaper is the Tarot de los Magos because it was in Spanish. Okay, so this one that I keep in this little pouch, this is actually my Green Witch Oracle, hence why it's in a green pouch. I've had this for a very long time. I love it so much. I mostly bust it out. I mean, I bust it out all year, but I just think it's more appropriate during Yule. I don't know why. It just kind of has that feel to it. I'm not really sure. I love the colors so much. This is such a nice deck. Ah, one of my favorites to bust out. You know what? Maybe I'm going to use this one today. Thinking maybe I'll do that. Oops, oops, oops. I gotcha, I gotcha. So another, you know, witchy type deck. All right. Hacking away at these deck choices here. I have another one that's in a little pouch. This is the last one that's in a pouch, but this is the Hedgewitch Botanical Oracle. And this is by the creator of the Line Strider Tarot, so Ciolo Thompson, I believe. And there's another deck that was created by that person. It was, there's one with a bunch of animals, and I'm on the fence about getting that one. But this one has another fantastic guidebook that goes with it. And I love everything herbs because I am like a green witch. I am a green witch. So I totally connect to this one, and I love that there is an absence of color, and it's very minimalistic. I really like that about this deck. So really good if you're like wanting to put some teas together, use certain herbs in meals. I like to draw cards for that. So that's funsies. All right. Let's see, we're down to our last 5 decks, I believe. And this one is a favorite of James, and this is the Earthly Souls and Spirits Oracle cards by Terry Foss, with the backs of the cards created by her daughter. I'll just put out a few of these. You can see this is the edition where there are several different backings of the moon created by her daughter, and all of the artwork by Terry Foss. Now James has the large version of this deck, which makes it really hard for him to shuffle, and this is easier for me to shuffle, but I must say that I'm a little jelly of his giant deck because I can see more of Terry Foss's artwork. Like, it's more in your face, and plus less of it has been cut off for the constraints of a tarot-sized deck. Okay, but also very witchy, great to use, especially it's got a lot of like Samhain feel to it, you know, so would be really good for if you're working with spirit. You know, I think you could bust that deck out, but any part of the year, really. Okay, this one, oh my gosh, the Magic and Mediums Oracle. So this was created by Anielle Reed, and it was illustrated by Ash Colored. So, you know, find your magic. Actually, it was on the podcast a while back. The illustrator has, and we were talking about her deck and kind of how I use it, and we were just jibber jabbering about all things mediumship and all that good stuff. So this is definitely a witchy deck. Again, very simplistic, ooh, and triggering, which is good because it's got to work on shadows. But yeah, I like the minimalist feel to it and lack of color, so that you can really dive deep and go within in this deck. So that is a lot of fun. So definitely check that one out. This is by Indie Deck Creator. All right, let me readjust here. Now we're getting into the Seasons of the Witch decks, and I have two of them because they've only created two thus far. But this is illustrated by Giada Rose, and Lorraine Anderson and Juliette Diaz created the guidebook that are in these decks. And so this is the Samhain edition, which I obviously got first. And then they just came out with a Yule edition, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then I think Beltane is going to be their next one. But they're basically just going around the wheel of the year. This is fun and witchy, and basically, you know, they've come up with little poems and spells down at the bottom, which is really cool. Yes! All right, so Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle, and again by the same illustrator and creators, we have Seasons of the Witch, Yule Oracle. I just did a review of this one not too long ago. I was actually borrowing my friend Annette's deck, and then I liked it so much I just went and bought it for myself. Again, also witchy, fun, but also can be used very seriously. I've used it in a lot of my nightly meditations. Good times, good times. I kind of can't wait for Yule, but then I'm like not looking forward to it because the days are so short, and my favorite season is summer, and I'm a total like sun baby. So anyway, we've come to our last deck, and this is the Green Witch Oracle, and this is by Sherilyn Darcy, which I have quite a few of her decks. So let's look at this, and I just want to make sure that Sherilyn Darcy is also the artist. Yeah, also the artist. So anyway, these are the backs of those cards, and this is the Green Witch Oracle. Again, like I said, because I'm Green Witch, so it has a cool little keyword at the bottom, tells you what herb it is. You got some different little symbols going on in the background, and the focus being where the color has been added, which is to the herb itself. So this is not only stuff that you could place in your food, but food that you can create, like actual meals and dinners and things like that. So not just teas, but yeah, creating magic in everything that we consume. Fantastic deck. Alright you guys, so that was all of my witchy-esque decks. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, it was just for fun. You know, if you'd like to jump in and maybe, you know, make a little video of your witchy deck collection, just make sure that you tag me at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. I'd love to see your videos. I want to see what you guys have as well. And let's just have fun celebrating death and transition and honoring our ancestors and those that have come before us. And of course, you know, we are our own ancestors as well. You know, all the lives that we have lived, and just honoring that cycle and not fearing it. You know, the more we understand it and the more we give honor to it, the less it becomes a fearful thing, and the less that we are controlled by those who wish to place fear on it and have us be controlled by that fear. So anyway, I hope you guys dug this. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. I have a lot of different types of readings. I even have my mediumship readings, scrying readings, conchomancy readings, and I make quite a few things. My room body sprays, my salves, my Wally's World Oracle, which was community created and community funded about a year ago. And yeah, so, oh, if you would like to maybe grab a few witchy items, maybe you want to check out Desert Cauldron. It's all one word on Etsy, or find us on Instagram at desert.cauldron. But basically, James from Light of Riga and myself are the owners of Desert Cauldron, and we create one-of-a-kind items for your one-of-a-kind witchy practice. One of the things that we have in there, we only have a few of these. These are vintage cauldrons, and inside this one actually I have some purple fluorite that I'm working with, and we actually have a few pieces of purple fluorite in our shop, so might want to check that out. But we have some items that come from our friends over at the local reservations here in Arizona, and some items are a mixture of like total antique, like over 100 years old, mixed with other energetic items to create some really fantastic one-of-a-kind pieces. So definitely check us out. Come dance in the desert with us over at Desert Cauldron. All of my other information is down below for my newsletter, my Leon Mystery School, my Patreon group, so on and so forth. And that's it for me, spiritual homies. I will catch you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.